There are moments in life when silence speaks louder than cruelty, when justice doesn't shout, but builds quietly, meticulously, like a storm that doesn't warn, only arrives. This was one of those moments. The students at Lincoln High had no idea the lesson that was about to change their lives forever had just walked into the room, disguised as a substitute teacher. "Look who they sent to teach us," Tyler Morrison sneered, his voice sharpened to cut. His words weren't whispered. They were designed to echo an announcement of disdain. "I bet she's only here because of some diversity quota," he added, glancing around for laughter like a magician seeking applause. And laughter came. Cold, calculated, cruel. At the front of room 301 stood Kesha Washington, 28, in her crisp blazer and calm demeanor, writing her name on the board as if the venom behind her couldn't touch her. The new literature teacher. First day, first moment, first strike. She felt the weight in the room. Predators, entitled ones. But she had faced far worse. Tyler, heir to the largest car dealership in town, leaned back smugly. Next to him, Madison Pierce filmed discreetly, already shaping her next viral caption. DEI disaster incoming. And then came the quieter cruelty. Jessica Kumar, straight-A student and self-proclaimed intellectual, muttering just loud enough, "My dad says people like her never get in on merit." Kesha paused, uncapping a red marker like a surgeon choosing her instrument. She turned slowly, eyes scanning each face. No panic, no fury, just that disarming calm, like someone who'd been insulted in 1,000 ways and survived them all. "Interesting theory," she said, her voice a shade too soft to be safe. "Tyler Morrison, right? Your father. The same Morrison who was investigated by the IRS last year?" A flicker of shock crossed his face. "And Madison," Kesha continued, strolling between desks, "daughter of Councilwoman Pierce, who voted against the free lunch program. I wonder what your followers would think of that." Madison's hand shook. The phone went dark. You see, Kesha didn't just teach literature. She had learned the language of power long before she ever walked into a classroom. Raised on the south side of Chicago, she'd survived by reading people like they were open books, before they even knew they were being read. "Let's begin," she said, returning to the front. "Can anyone tell me why Atticus Finch is considered a hero in To Kill a Mockingbird?" Silence. Not the bored kind, the hunted kind. She looked at them and smiled. Maybe it's because he defended an innocent black man, when doing so could have cost him everything. Tyler tried to retort. "It's just an old book about how people like you have always underestimated people like me." She cut in, her smile steady. "And how that mistake has always cost them more than they expected." They didn't know yet. Kesha wasn't just holding a syllabus. She was holding a mirror. And she was about to reflect back everything they didn't want to see. Over the next 3 days, the campaign against her grew teeth. Madison created a secret Instagram group called DEI Disaster, filled with mocking pictures of Kesha grading papers. "She needs a calculator," the captions read. Jessica started publicly challenging her in class, using faux intellectual traps. "Isn't Atticus Finch an example of the white savior complex? Isn't this outdated, problematic literature?" But Kesha didn't flinch. She met every attack with depth. "Excellent question, Jessica," she replied. "Let's explore Toni Morrison's deconstruction of whiteness in canonical texts." Her voice didn't rise, but her lessons did. Tyler posted a video on the school's TikTok page, Kesha explaining literary concepts, edited with mock hip-hop beats and emojis. 800 views in 2 hours. But what none of them knew was this. Every post, every message, every whisper had a witness. Dr. Marcus Chun, a history teacher, 15 years at Lincoln High, had seen this before. The isolation, the coded sabotage. He had walked these halls as the only non-white faculty member once, and he had learned to listen to what wasn't said aloud. "I've been documenting everything," he told Kesha over lunch, sliding her a slim folder. Screenshots, comments, conversations, even voice memos. Kesha leafed through it, carefully, thoughtfully. Then she smiled, not kindly, but with precision. "Thank you, Marcus. This is exactly what I needed." By Friday, Tyler was confident. He'd convinced two influential parents, one being his own mother, Catherine, to attend a school meeting to challenge Kesha's qualifications. "She'll ask for a transfer by Monday," he told Madison. But on Thursday, Kesha arrived with something different in her hands. A small box. Her tone was unchanged, but her energy had shifted, coiled and potent. "Tomorrow," she said, "we're discussing narrative consequences. How characters who underestimate others often face dramatic reversals." Tyler rolled his eyes. But that night, Kesha was busy, not planning a lesson, but delivering justice. She emailed the school's PR department, the district board, 3 education journalists, and 1 Twitter account with over 50,000 followers that specialized in exposing institutional bias. In the box, evidence. Organized, dated, annotated. Kesha wasn't defending herself. She was preparing to teach. Friday, 9:15 a.m. Room 301. Parents sat at the front. Tyler smirked like a soldier walking into victory. "Good morning, class," Kesha greeted chipper. "Let's begin with a question. What happens when a character underestimates another?" A pause. "Let me show you." The projector lit up. Slide 1. A screenshot of the DEI disaster group. Names included. Gasps. Shifting chairs. Catherine Morrison's face stiffened. "What's this?" she asked. "It means," said Kesha, "that your son created a hate-based campaign to defame me, based solely on my race." Slide 2. Instagram captions. Comments. Coordinated mocking. "Where did you get this?" Tyler croaked. Dr. Chun stood from the back. "They're public posts, open group invites, and voluntarily shared messages. Some were even shown to me by concerned students." Slide 3. A smiling Catherine Morrison next to a sign reading, "Lincoln High supports diversity," paired with donation records to anti-diversity candidates. "How dare you?" Catherine began. "How dare I what?" Kesha said. "Tell the truth? Or connect the dots your family thought no one would see?" Then came the final blow. A local newspaper headline. "Morrison family investigated for tax evasion." Below it, a photo of Richard Morrison in handcuffs. "Your family thought they could shame me," Kesha said, her voice now like steel wrapped in silk. "But you forgot to check your own record first." Tyler buried his face in his hands. Madison began to sob. Jessica looked away. Kesha turned to the class. "This isn't revenge. This is consequence. And it's long overdue." She paused, letting it land. "As of this morning," she added, "this evidence has been shared with the district board, the Department of Education, and legal counsel. Tyler Morrison and Madison Pierce, you are suspended indefinitely." 6 months later, Kesha sat in a national morning show studio. Her new book, Confronting Prejudice, a practical guide for educators, had hit bestseller lists. "How did you come up with this protocol?" the host asked. "I grew up documenting injustice," Kesha replied. "Not to stay angry, but to build something better. When you expose patterns, you don't destroy people. You show them what they've created, and sometimes they change." She smiled, fingering a gold pin, the symbol of her new role as Regional Director of Diversity. Behind her, the screen flashed statistics. 89% reduction in racial bullying. 156% increase in minority enrollment in advanced classes. 34 schools adopting her protocol. Room 301 had become a sanctuary of change. Students once silent now led diversity councils. Bullies had become case studies. Even Tyler Morrison, expelled, rejected by every private school, was now in therapy and volunteering at a refugee center. He had written her one message: "I didn't understand until it was too late. Thank you for teaching me, even when I didn't want to be taught." Kesha had replied, "Real change starts with accountability. Keep going. Not for me, but for those you'll meet who still believe they're worthless." Because in the end, it was never about punishment. It was about proving that the best revenge is not vengeance, It's transformation. And when the underestimated stop surviving and start leading, the world changes with them.